In this video I'll share my experience flying the MV-22 Osprey in MSFS. Although we do cover a full flight in this video and I explain the techniques I use, it's not really a tutorial, as the only real way to learn the Osprey is to read the manual and practice. The first time you load the Osprey, you'll see a master warning on the flight computer. This tells you we need to set up a very specific hotkey, which will allow us to move the nacelles between vertical and lateral flight. These are the engine cowl flap controls you need to assign. Operating these hotkeys allows you to move the engine nacelles between their horizontal and vertical position, which is vital for transitioning to regular flight after takeoff and vertical flight for landing. So we'll now set up to go flying. We're going to start with the Autopilot panel. Today we'll cruise en route at about 20,000 feet. So we just dial that into the Autopilot panel. I then also set my initial desired vertical speed, which is going to be 1,000 feet per minute, but it can climb faster. I'm now also going to insert the ILS frequency of my destination today, which is the ILS for runway 05 at Glasgow. As I change the map mode, we can see overlaid on the map is the magenta line showing the route that I plan in the world map before starting the flight. Finally, I'll activate ENAV mode, which will allow the airplane to follow the plan we've set. So as I'm starting from the active runway, the engines are set correctly for takeoff, and takeoff itself is as simple as throttling up. I now also raise the landing gear. I manually rudder round initially to get the Osprey pointing in the direction of our flight plan while we're still in vertical flight mode. I'm also tilting the nose forward to start to build up some speed. The conversion phase is very challenging, but essentially as I increased speed I decreased the nacelle angle. It was very challenging to control the pitch as well to keep the vertical speed positive while staying below 1500 feet per minute to avoid a vortex ring state. Once stable in regular flight, I can enable the autopilot. So first of all, I'll enable the master, followed by vertical speed mode and navigation waypoint follow mode. I also set a desired auto throttle speed of 270 knots. The airplane then continued to follow my flight plan while climbing up to the target altitude of 20,000 feet, entirely in autopilot mode. At 20,000 feet, the altitude hold light illuminated and the airplane leveled off. While the plane was at cruise, I dialed in my desired bottom of descent altitude in preparation for top of descent later on. Of course, until I manually trigger descent, the plane will continue to hold 20,000 feet in altitude hold mode. When ATC directed me to descend, I activated vertical speed mode and inserted a vertical speed of minus 1,000 feet per minute. The Osprey then began to descend towards my target bottom of descent altitude. I reached bottom of descent around the same time that the airplane was turning on to final. With the airplane stable in altitude hold mode at bottom of descent, I activate approach mode and the airplane now starts to follow the localizer and glide slope. During ILS approach, the Osprey was happiest at 120 knots on the glide slope. To land, the process is to disengage the autopilot on short final, slow the plane to around 50 knots, reconvert the nacelles to short takeoff or VTOL configuration, and then touch down. I personally found this damn near impossible to do correctly and consistently. So I'd love to hear your experiences and tips for landing the Osprey in the comments below. And that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it entertaining and perhaps useful. If you did, please drop a like, feel free to subscribe, take care, and I'll see you next time.